Yo, what's up? Pikmin Plays here. So today, the plan is we are going to be going over the best Spike Rush defensive strategies. Now, as you may know, Spike Rush is a submode of Rumble, so it is in Rocket League, of course. I only upload Rocket League content for now. Let me turn this. So yeah, today we're going to be going over the easiest and most effective Spike Rush strategies so that you can win all of your games. And I've done a video covering the more offensive strategies, like if you're in a good position and the opponent's defending and all you gotta do is get it in the goal. But this video is going to be a bit more complex because now imagine you're in a situation when the balls are next to your goal. What do you do to get it back to mid? Like right here where the ball spawns. And yeah, so that's basically what this video is going to be going over. Last video I covered flicks and all sorts of cool stuff like that. Yeah, this video we're going to be going over all the defensive strategies that you need. So, first one we're going to be covering is shadowing. Now, shadowing is an idea that's hard to show without bots, but essentially, shadowing is when you're trying to mimic your opponent's movements across the field. Now, this is a really good strategy for soccer, but you can notice that if I have the ball, I have no boost, so I'm going to be going way slower. That also means that I'll end up, since I'm going slower, the opponent's going faster, then I gotta figure out a way to out-maneuver them, not through speed, but through other strategies. And people online are generally pretty bad at doing this, so shadowing becomes even more effective, because you can always keep up with them. It's not like they can go any faster than you if you have any experience at how to counter Spike Rush strats. So if they're trying to carry the ball down here, like it could have easily been shadowed, they'll have to pull off a flick or some complicated maneuver. And most people don't know if they want to get it past you, so as long as you can counter whatever low IQ strategies they have, you'll be totally fine. Yeah, I use shadowing in a lot of my matches. It's really helpful. So this is pretty easy to do if you're a beginner. If you're a beginner, all you really do is you just figure out how, like, you just move as they move, exactly as they move, when they move. As long as you have, like, decent reaction time, you should be able to do this pretty much without fail. Yeah, okay, if you're moving into the higher levels, if you're moving into, like, medium level, like we're talking platinums, diamonds, people who are better than me, that kind of stuff. Also, by the way, I'm bad at the game, in case you didn't know. Anyways, if you move into those platinums and diamonds, they could maybe figure out a way to use boost management, go over, grab some boost, come back, and then hopefully they can cut off the opponent, like, even before they make it to the net, so that they don't have an opportunity to jump over them. I don't even have a right to tell anything to pros because they are so much smarter than me, but I can't say that for Grand Champs. If you're, like, up in Grand Champ level and you're just new to Spike Rush, then I'd recommend just trying to use some of those soccer skills that you have, because people online suck, as you can figure out from playing casuals. So you're really just going to want to, like, use flicks and, like, you can try to dribble it back, you can try to use aerials to block, like, there's all sorts of soccer strategies that can be transcended here. Okay, next strat is dribbles. Dribbles are actually super important. I'm surprised I didn't go over this last video, but I didn't, so yeah, now we're doing it now. So, the idea of dribbles in regular soccer, as everybody knows, is you just touch the ball repeatedly on the ground and you have, like, air dribbles that you can do. Well, you can't do air dribbles in Spike Rush. You can get some pretty sick dribbles using grab releases into boosting. So, let me take the ball over here. So if I have the ball over here, okay, I grab it here. One idea of a dribble I might try is I could forward dodge. And by the way, forward dodges are really good for dribbles. If you forward dodge, or you could just drive, grab, release, dribble it a bit like soccer, grab it again, grab, release. So you see what I'm going for here is I'm essentially using whatever soccer skills I have built up for dribbling regularly, and I'm comboing off grab releases when I re-grab it with my spikes. So just start doing soccer type combos, and whenever you just grab it with your spikes, you can just release it. And then maybe you can end with a flick. If you don't know how to do a flick, go watch my other video. Most of you probably will know, but in case you don't know, go watch my other video, which I hopefully should have uploaded by now. Yeah, Spike Rush offensive strategies. Okay, what is the next strategy? I low-key don't remember. Oh yeah, it's passes. So in a competitive game, one of your biggest tools is going to be passing. So if you can get it to your friends, like if you're here, then what you're going to want to do is probably set up a flick. Like I said, go check out my other video. You're going to want to set up a flick and aim it, and then if your friend comes in and grabs it at like mid, they can flick it. So there's some pretty sick team combos you can do. None of them I can actually do, because I'm a silver. So yeah, really this just kind of transcends all the levels. If you're at beginner level, you're going to want to just like forward flip maybe, and then like start getting momentum, and then pass it. Your friend can come in from here, just forward dodge. It's pretty simple. Not really any skill required to do that, but it does work sometimes. It'll catch opponents off guard. Now, if you're at the moderate level, like I'm not talking silvers here. For beginner, I'm definitely talking about people who are new at the game, or bronzes or silvers like me. Those are generally the things I'll try to go for. If you're playing with your friends and you're at a moderate level, or if you just at a moderate level generally, and you can like set some stuff up, you could try using a more advanced flick, and you can go from across the field, get a forward dodge. Your friend can boost into it. You can get some pretty sick stuff happening. So yeah, you're definitely gonna want to use like dribbles and or flicks, which I just mentioned. Get it as close to mid as soon as possible, so I can like flick it from here. That's actually a pretty good flick. So then I can come in from here, do another one. You can get some, if that actually hit, that would have been cool. Anyways, you can get some pretty sick stuff going with that. Alright, yeah. Those are basic defensive strats I had. Some other things I want to go over just to make this video longer and to correct my previous mistakes. I didn't go over kickoffs yet, which might be like the most important part of the game. I might make that an entire separate video. But, oh, I didn't make infinite time, sorry. Pause it, alright. Let me refresh my time. Anyways, so kickoffs, you're gonna wanna, I didn't go enough into detail before. So you want to do the 3 big kickoff strats, which to me are angles and, I'll spoil the next video, the 3 big strats. Those are definitely going to be, it's going to be like angles, double touches, and second touches. So basically, if I'm talking about angles, I'm just talking about like either trying to set something up, like a double touch or a second hit, using a weird angle, or I'm talking about like trying to get the ball past the opponent, or if the opponent's just not there, try to get it into their goal as fast as possible. So, yeah, so if I want to get an angle, let me keep restarting from the kickoff. If I want to get a good angle, then I might go for something like, if I'm trying to get it into the goal, I might go something like this, boom. So then I can follow it up maybe if it's regular soccer. If I didn't suck, if you're probably going to be able to. So if you get an angle like this, it can go straight into the goal, and that's all good. But what if your opponent's actually good and they can actually hit it? Then you're going to want to hit it past them from different angles. People tend to do different things. This is where your experience really comes in, because this is more advanced, and I don't do this, like most of the things. I'm not even sure if this is possible, but you're going to have to try to figure out your opponent's kickoff on the fly and figure out a counter to it. Some people just use one kickoff, and I found that really strange. That's like if you're playing rock, paper, scissors, and you always use rock. There's a definitely counter to it. It's not just as simple as choosing scissors. You gotta figure out exactly what is the counter, what's the angle. You might get scored on once, but then after that, if you can find a counter, that's gonna mess up their kickoffs, for sure. So, let me show you an example real quick, or at least try to. So if I was to counter that angle I did before when it went straight into the goal from like here, so I hit it right here. What I might do as a defender is I'm gonna back up to here. I've kind of already covered this, but I'm gonna back up to here, and I'm gonna try to block it like that. The first time, if you're trying to feel out an opponent's kickoff, which is generally a risky strategy, but if you're worse in skill, it's worth a shot. You're gonna want to try to figure out what's your opponent's kickoff? Are they using it consistently? And how do you counter it? And you're going to want to try to figure that out. As I said, you're going to get scored on probably if you try to counter it immediately. So you're going to want to try to feel these things out. Yeah, so that's angles. Double touches, easy double touches are, like, if your opponent gets there first, you can... Well, if you get there first, actually, if your opponent is trying to second touch you, which I'll go over in a sec, so basically that is when they try to hit it after you. I'll discuss the counter to that in a sec. If you're going from here, you're gonna wanna, and then you get there first. Well, obviously the ball wouldn't get grabbed. If you get there first, you're gonna wanna not only try to hit it, because if they can second touch it successfully, that'll hit it back into your area, which is not good. You're gonna wanna hit it here, and then if they hit it up, you're gonna wanna be ready to hit it again. That sounds a lot more complicated than it is. I did not do well explaining that, but essentially, yeah, you just want to hit the ball and then make sure you hit it again after they hit it, and that'll give you a huge advantage. The final thing, well, I should go over the levels. For beginners, this just means, like, beginners probably shouldn't use this. They should just try to use second touch, which generally is counterable by this very technique. But, if you're at like a moderate or advanced level, this should be pretty easy for you. If you're at a moderate level, just do this, and it should hopefully work. Hopefully they can't figure out the counter to your counter too quickly. Now we're really getting into game theory here. If you're at an advanced level, you are definitely going to want to figure out the counter. If their opponent is countering you, you need to figure out what's going to be their kickoff. If you're countering them, you have to think about, you might want to start thinking about immediately what's the counter to their counter if they end up thinking of one. Obviously, if you're good at kickoffs, you can just do your good kickoff and hope that it totally beats the opponent. But, like, I'm not good at kickoffs, so I need these tips. So I've been using these in matches a lot, just trying to figure out counters. It's not that hard. So yeah, beginners should be able to do this, maybe. Moderate people, definitely. Okay, the final strat. Am I lagging in a local lobby? Am I? No, I'm not. Okay. Felt like it. Anyways, final strat is second touches. This one is actually kind of the most simple one. This is assuming your opponent is better at kickoffs than you, which usually is true for me, because people practice kickoffs a lot for some reason, like hours. So if your opponent is using their tried and tested 5 hours of training speed flip kickoff or whatever, you're going to want to get right up to the ball as quickly as you can. Hopefully you can get there in time. If you're like way worse at kickoffs, this might not work just because they'll hit it right past you and you won't be able to get your spot in time. But you're going to want to position yourself right next to the ball, okay? And then you're going to want to hit it. You're going to want to hit it right after they hit it. It shouldn't be a problem if you hit it first, because if they're better at kickoffs, they'll get there first. But yeah, if you're trying to... This is the second touch. You're going to want to hit it second, and then it'll go flying to their part of the field. There's pretty easy ways to counter this, and the opponent can just slow their kickoff further or go like super, super fast. If your opponent ends up doing that, you might want to stop second touching as soon as they try that, because your strategy will no longer work. But it's good to get at least like 1 or 2 free goals if you're good enough to get an angle on that second touch or profit off it. Yeah, and then the final thing is aerials. So I just wanted to go over aerials real quick, just because I tend to use them more in defensive spots than offensive spots. And furthermore, I didn't cover it in my last video, so... Anyways, let's reset from the kickoff, and let me show you, people don't use aerial in Spike Rush for some reason, which is really strange to me. Like, why? It's so OP. The last part was more about soccer, but this one, like, the aerial component is completely strengthened and changed by Spike Rush, I gotta say. So, I messed this up, I'm sorry. Anyways. If you hit an aerial shot in like regular soccer, you're looking at an air dribble or ground pinch or an air pinch or dribble off the side, but none of those things are even possible in Spike Rush because your spikes will activate and then you'll just start carrying the ball. So if I'm here, if somebody hits it into the air, what you're gonna want to do is you're gonna want to do 2 things before You're going to want to do two things before you attempt an aerial shot. Number one, make sure that they can't score off it easily, because in Spike Rush it's super easy to score, and you can't just rely on people missing, because I can literally drive into the goal to get a score like that. Two, you're going to want to make sure that if your aerial shot misses, well, not only if your aerial shot misses, if your aerial shot hits, let's go over it. If your aerial shot hits, obviously if it misses, you need defense, but if it hits, then you have to have a planned strategy because your spikes are going to activate immediately, so you need to be able to either, like, forward dodge or backflip, or have something prepared, or some sort of flip or double jump. It doesn't really matter what it is, you just need to have something prepared so that you can get down to the ground, or you can just use the momentum to release it. Either way, you need to have a plan, okay? So, so if you've got this situation, I missed. Anyways, if you have a situation where the ball's in the air, you definitely need to make sure. You're also going to want to not attempt aerial shots if you're bad at them, because if you're bad at them like me, missing has like a significantly higher loss in my opinion than regular soccer, because you can get the ball can get picked up at the ground and flicked, and there will be one less defender. You probably won't be able to block. So you definitely want to make sure you have something planned. Yeah, so those are really my defensive tips and tricks for this game. Make sure to apply these in your gameplay, and then you'll probably, like, get a whole rank better at your gameplay, I have to say. I applied these tips, and then immediately after, my win-loss ratio before was, like, 50-50, and then I won 7 games in a row. I'm not even kidding. So, you're really just... If you apply these to your gameplay, you get way better, you start winning games. I mean, bots, obviously, everybody can beat a bot pretty much. And if you can't, all you need to do is aerial, because bots can't aerial. So, yeah, this is really my tips and tricks guide for how to get good at Rocket League Spike Rush. Make sure to drop down in the comments. If I have comments, I might not. Make sure to drop down in the comments what mode you want me to play next, because I've got a bunch of different modes. I've got some tips for each of them. I'm thinking of doing maybe just regular soccer next, or maybe hoops, because that's a really popular other game mode. Or I could do Heat Seeker. One of those two. So one of those three. Why don't I just narrow it down to those three? Vote in the comments hoops or Heat Seeker or soccer, okay? And then I'll do whichever one gets the most votes. Also, make sure to drop a like and subscribe, because I will be coming out with these tips and tricks guides. I know, maybe every 3 days, 2 days, something like that. So yeah, if you need help with the game mode, make sure to ask me, and I will definitely go and give you some tips and tricks that I've found in the game mode. I'll make sure to play more games, do research and development, all that. Yeah, anyways, this is Pikmin Plays, and thank you for watching. I will see you in the next one.